E ragazzi, ciao a tutti, vi piace questa vista? È bellissimo, c'è stato il temporale tutto il giorno, è più tutto il giorno, adesso è uscito il sole. Non vedo l'ora, parliamo di questo video, perché in questo video parliamo di tantissime cose. Abbiamo parlato con Paul di microorganismi, semenze, tutte le piante che sono state piantate intorno alla recinzione della proprietà, formaggio, fanno il formaggio, allevamento di vermi, e quando parlo di allevamento di vermi con la V maiuscola perché è stata una cosa incredibile, non avevo mai visto una cosa del genere dal vivo, vi assicuro che funziona e fanno un botto di compost. E poi cos'altro? Ci ha fatto vedere il giardino che avevamo visitato con Tristan e ci ha spiegato che l'ha fatto disegnare una ragazza giapponese che aveva studiato permacultura. E poi la parte fondamentale, quella più bella, è poter aver vissuto tramite i racconti di Paul la sua storia che è durata 15 anni, attraverso anche delle foto bellissime di com'era il posto e di com'è diventato grazie al suo credo, quello che lui pensava, e come è riuscito nonostante le difficoltà a trovare i soldi. C'è stati dei momenti difficili, dei momenti facili e lui non ha mollato, e questo è stato bellissimo. E che cosa avrebbe fatto se fosse potuto tornare indietro e quello che vuole fare da adesso in 15 anni. È stato un video secondo me molto importante, che vi farà riflettere anche, e secondo me vi farà anche capire che tante volte non bisogna soltanto credere in quello che si vede, ma bisogna anche avere fede e credere anche nei propri sogni, tenendo i piedi per terra. Guardate questo video, ci rivediamo alla fine. Ciao! So it happened to meet a couple of people that they were looking for a change, and they started to discover microorganisms. And I still don't have an opinion about that, because they start to talk about this Japanese man that probably was a friend of Fukuoka, and they study microorganism and they start to understand like the life of microorganism, and then they start to create this kind of product that they say they are completely natural. So if you want to dishwashing machine, wash yourself, clean the house, and then you can...
Is it EM?
I think so.
Effective microorganism?
Yes.
Yes.
And then you can also apply to the chicken farm, you can apply in your vegetable garden, you can apply in your bipool, balancing or adding more microorganism, and they say that it works and is natural, so you don't put any. What do you think about that? Have you ever counter or have you ever faced, like, do you know anything about it? Would you suggest to try them or not?
We use an EM. We make our own. We stopped doing it for some reason. I just forget why, but possibly because wasn't entirely convinced it was effective. We tried it, but we didn't experience the massive benefits that were claimed. So whether we did it wrong or didn't do it the right way, I think microorganisms are extremely important in the garden system. It's why you don't try to cultivate so much, or don't disturb the networks of different microorganisms and fungi that live in the soil. Try to preserve their structures. We did try it. I'm not entirely sure whether it worked or not.
Because also, for example, they say in chicken, when you have like inside you reuse the poo of the chicken. I don't remember in English how you call it.
The foot?
But they say that instead of, basically, if you live there, instead of becoming a spoil, I don't know, it's gonna ferment. And then, if, for example, you reduce, there is no more smell in your chicken house.
Okay. One way that we found EM to be very useful is in bokashi. Have you heard of bokashi?
No.
It's you have the EM microorganisms in the sawdust, the wood chips, and you put your raw food scraps into a bucket in your kitchen, and then you sprinkle on the top EM with the sawdust,
Okay.
and that way you have a composting system in your kitchen.
Okay.
This works very well. It's the best way we've found to employ the idea of effective microorganisms, and so we used that to make bokashi. So basically it ferments the food scraps,
Okay.
and then we put it into the compost. So they are full then of microorganisms which will break down that compost. So we found that to be a very useful way to use EM, and the rotting food in the kitchen doesn't smell at all
Okay.
because of the EM.
Okay. Among all the beautiful things that Mr. Paul showed you, they also make cheese, guys. Let's have a look. Oh!
So we have some. Open it.
Yee. Beethoven. This is made with what kind of sheep and cow? You mix it?
Just cow.
Cow?
Camembert.
You can smell it.
We have all the essential food groups here. Cheese and beer.
Yeah, that is a very good combination. If you never tried, we suggest you try around 5 o'clock in the afternoon also.
So yeah, Yvonne and Tristan made this cheese,
Wow.
and it'll be ready soon. Yeah, so we get the milk from the local farmer. It's full of cream, very creamy, and it's perfect for making cheese, and yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
Have your own cheese.
So, have you already seen it?
Yeah. So you can go. Are you ready? It's fascinating.
This is the worms oshiko
Oshiko?
of the worm. Worms urine. So they're in here is the old bathtub, which we've made into a worm farm. So lifting up the lid, and there are lots of worms in here. You want to see? You ready?
Just quickly.
You want to hold one? You want to hold one?
It's enough to see this way.
There's so many in there. See what I mean? There's millions of them in there.
Wow.
And we started off with just a few worms, and we keep feeding them all the raw food scraps, and they look at this beautiful rich compost that they make.
Amazing.
And see how they're stripy? This is a tiger worm. Look, there's one there. This is a tiger worm. See the stripes on him?
Ah, that's why it's called tiger.
Yeah. He's a
Wow.
tiger. Rawr.
You want to see the stripe?
So to make these,
See these little white things?
yeah,
You know what they are?
the larvae,
Baby worms.
baby worms,
Look how many there are.
thousand,
Millions.
millions, even here, full.
So this material here, this is when the worms eat the food, and we goes in here, and then we dilute this down maybe 10 to 1, put it on the garden. You can spray it on the leaves, it absorbed into the plant through the leaves and all through the roots in the soil, and it's a very good way of improving the nutrition in the gardens.
And how long do you take to make a basket like this?
Oh, this will fill up once a week.
Really?
Once a week, yeah.
Wow.
And then we'll move all this material up to one end, and then put in fresh raw material here, and the worms will migrate from there into the new food, and then we can take this and put it on the garden without any worms in it. So the worms won't live in the garden, they only live in the compost.
Okay, so first you just put raw material, and you were saying that you don't put any meat or any cooked food.
That's right, it goes to the chickens or the dogs.
And then only that, and then you put the worm inside. And
Yep.
slowly you keep topping up only raw food. We don't put any soil, we don't put any wood chip, nothing.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. Yeah, so
Eggshell, and I saw lemon inside.
some people say you shouldn't put lemon or citrus or onions or that sort of thing in there, but we found no problem at all. We think the worms are smarter than people think.
And you can see.
Yeah. So it's a good way of making lots of compost.
Wow. Yes. Thank you for sharing your warm farm. It's been very interesting.
Please don't tell people I've got worms, will you? You've already been around here with Tristan, right?
Yeah.
This is more of a traditional garden style, not like the wild wild farm garden. But yeah, we had a really dry period and lots of stuff went to seed, so we have to replant. But yeah, this is a very productive little garden made by a Japanese girl actually made this garden, Naomi Ishihara. She studied permaculture and she wanted to make a garden, so we gave her an area and she made this garden. And we've been looking after it. It's been here for 15 years.
And you do the same as there? Means basically is auto-reproducing by itself?
No. This, well, we do let the plants go to seed, but we collect the seed. We'll collect the seed here and dry it, and then we'll replant it. So in more of a traditional gardening way, not like a natural gardening Fukuoka style, but yeah, we need to also have some balance between wild natural farming and traditional food production gardens.
So you do this here because it's closer to the kitchen
To
also?
the kitchen, yeah, that's right, exactly. Yeah. When we came here 15 years ago, there was no garden at all. It's hard to imagine. There was grass, lawn all the way around the building. It was just a big ugly building on a lawn. So all of this has happened in the last 15 years. So it's a 15-year permaculture project. It's gone from nothing to an abundance of a lot of stuff. Have you seen the photograph of the building?
I was wondering if that was the building. Yes,
I can
think
show
you
you.
show us later.
I'll show you a photograph of when we bought the building, what it looked like. This is what it looks like today, 15 years later. We've achieved a lot of things. We've set all sorts of goals 15 years ago. We've now achieved them. Now we're in the process of resetting our goals for the next 15 years so that we can continue to improve and continue to grow and continue to develop this project so that, like I said earlier, when I pass it on to my children, if they want to take it over, it's in better shape than we received.
I think, like, have you ever faced some difficult time where maybe it was not easy? Because I think a lot of people, maybe it's easy to give up, but then
Ask my wife. I'm not a guy who gives up easily.
no, and you can see that. So I think even if you go through difficult time, because I don't think that this what you see is so easy like this. Of course not. It's a lot of passion. You have to be patient, and it's not like I think.
One of the things I think is very important if you want to have a sustainable business or a permaculture project is financial sustainability. This is a really key point, because if you're not financially sustainable, everything else is moot. It doesn't matter how much food you grow, it doesn't matter how many trees you save or plant or grow or what you do. If you can't sustain yourself financially, you're not in business. So one of the challenges we have here is extreme seasonality. And I think you may experience that in where you are in Italy as well.
Maybe
so you have a very busy summer, but a very quiet winter. And so our cash flow goes like this.
Yeah.
Which makes managing the business very difficult.
It's true.
So we have to manage our finances very carefully so that we have sufficient money to meet our expenses and also fund development of the project. So one of the things I would do again, if I had the opportunity to start this project again, I would concentrate harder on financial sustainability. But we are a financially sustainable business. But that has been one of the biggest challenges that we've faced. So I think I would have a better business plan if I started this again. And then the next 15 years we'll plan or build into our business model yes, we'll continue with the original ideology of being a sustainable business and being environmentally responsible, but we'll also focus more on how can we use our facilities and services that we've developed over the last 15 years to generate more income to fund further development of this project. So I think that perhaps I set my financial goals a little low at the beginning, but I've learned a lot. In the last 15 years of developing this project, I've learned a lot of business skills and have a lot more ideas on how we might make our business more financially sustainable by offering different services to our guests and people who come and stay, and certainly the food is one good example of that. Okay, so when we first started this business, it was a backpackers hostel. We didn't provide food for our customers. So we've developed the farms and the gardens to the point where we can now do that, and that provides another income stream for the Living in Peace project, which helps us to generate income in a way that provides an essential service to our own customers, and enables us to increase the revenue that we make from our facilities and services, and that helps to fund further development of the project.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of setting up a permaculture project of your own or a sustainable business, you must work out carefully how to make it financially sustainable as well. So this is an essential thing. So you don't go out and borrow millions of dollars like I did, because that means you have to pay the bank. And you know, that's we've done that. We've managed to overcome all the bank loans and what have you where we started the business. And I think that if you could avoid borrowing money from a bank, that would be a good start. There are all sorts of ways that you could have developed in the last few years. For example, crowdfunding. You know about crowdfunding?
What is crowd?
Crowdfunding is where you take your business idea or your idea and you put it out to the world, and then if people like your idea and they want to support you, then they will contribute a small amount of money. So a lot of people contribute a small amount of money to help fund your project. So if I had my time again, instead of going to a bank, I would go to the people and ask for their support and say, here's my idea. I want to have a sustainable business. I want to grow excellent food. I want to make fantastic meals for you guys. I want to have a comfortable accommodation facility that you can base yourself in Kurramere and go and experience all the wonder of the national park. Those things, that's my idea. If you contribute some money, then you can have a free dinner, or you can have a farm tour, or you can do a permaculture design course, or these sort of things. They have different levels of, they're called pledges. So I think that's a better way and a more permaculture way of raising money and generating money. And it also, in the process of funding your idea, you're also promoting your idea to the people who are going to come and enjoy it. So yeah, crowdfunding is an excellent way to fund the development of a project like this. Crowdfunding didn't exist when I started, but it does now. So I will run a crowdfunding campaign in the form of a membership. So what we're planning to do is, instead of be a tourism operation, we're going to be a membership club. So we'll take the facilities that we have developed over the last 15 years and say, and all the people that have come and enjoyed staying with us, we have a huge database of those people, those contacts. We're going to say we're going to close our business altogether, close it down to tourism, and open it up to people who are interested in what we're doing, like you guys. Say, okay, very, very loose idea at the moment, but what it would be is, let's say a membership in the Living in Peace project would be 1,000 New Zealand dollars, just say. And that membership is for 3 years, a 3-year membership. During that time, the members will receive information about what we're doing, what projects we're working on, maybe short videos or stories, articles that I've written, or photographs and newsletters and that sort of thing, so that you, where you are back in Italy, you are vicariously involved in what we're doing. So you will know what we're doing here when you're back at home. Okay? And you will also receive a holiday voucher to the value of your membership. So you have $1,000 holiday voucher. So when you come back here, you can stay with us for free because you're a member.
You're awesome idea.
So that way, that addresses the seasonality. So we have this seasonality at the moment where the cash flow comes in summertime and nothing in the winter, like this. If we have a membership base, then we receive the money here. We can budget carefully without this fluctuation. We can carefully budget development of the project for the next 3 years. And the cool thing about the idea is that the development that we make, the improvement in the facilities and services that we have to offer, is for the exclusive benefit of the members. So your money will be used to make this place even better when you come back next time.
Yeah.
That's what we're planning for the coming 15 years.
I have this feeling like my perception was what you have done was something that back then was a vision that probably not many people has, and now what you have done, it's gonna help you to develop the tourism, the attraction of the tourism that you need because of what you've done. And it was so hard, but it's gonna pay you back. Not in money wise, but I see the level of people coming here and the beautiful thing they are, you are surrounded by, and there is so much passion now and even more interest. And the fact that you have this, you can spread the word of permaculture, farm and ideas to so many people. Then they
That's
don't
right.
know.
The people come here and see
then
what we're
they
doing.
discover and they enjoy so much anything. So you're gonna improve the facilities you have, and because probably is now the time to do that, and that was the time to do this.
Yes.
And now because of this, and it was fascinating for me, and I was happy that my mom was here with me to share this experience and this feeling because it's amazing.
We will. We may have been a little ahead of our time when we first started this project because people weren't thinking about this stuff 15 years ago. They are now.
Yeah.
They are now.
More.
So we were a little bit ahead of our time maybe, but people are really starting to think about, hey, how can we do things better?
Yeah.
How can we do things more energy efficiently and environmentally responsibly? And this is what we've been doing for 15 years. So we have a lot of credibility. We're not just doing this because it's now trendy or, you know, it's a fashion or whatever. We've been actually working on this for 15 years. So we can demonstrate where the project began, we can show where we are now, and we can say this is where we want to go.
And if I was you, among all the things that you can do in your life, I will start to save money now and I will come and visit this farm because what you can feel, experience and learn is something unique that is going to change your life for the rest of your life, I think.
The only thing that was here when we bought this property was the trees along the fence line. So there were trees along the fence line, all native trees.
They were already here?
Already here.
Okay.
Everything inside the boundary, right up to the side of the building, was lawn.
Okay.
So the maintenance was like just mowing the lawn once a week.
Okay, so my question is, if you need to build a fence, you should select native trees that are more for preventing the wind and covering and do some shadow.
Well, yes and no. I don't think it's essential, but we love having the native trees along the fence line because the native trees feed the native birds.
Okay.
So in an odd way, in the permaculture things, the birds come in to the native trees, but they don't bother our gardens. So they're more used to eating the fruits and the leaves and what have you of the native trees. We don't have any bird problems here in this garden.
Okay.
Because we have this barrier around, and when they hit that barrier they stop.
one more question, and it's going to be the last one, and after I let you go.
She said that a few times.
No, this is probably the last one. But when you, for example, I started to read, when you select plants, you should find perennial plants or trees. And the problem is that sometimes they are either genetically, I don't know in English how to say, but genetically modified, or they are hybrids. Then, for example, this year and for 10 years they produce certain things and then they change.
Yes.
And then how can you how can you find, or what you should buy, what kind of trees and seed or plants you should look for to be sure that you're buying something, if it's not produced by local farmer, you cannot find the local seed, that makes sure that what you're planting is a good one.
Well,
you understand my question?
I guess the only way you can really guarantee the provenance of your seed is if you collect it and dry it yourself.
Okay.
There are companies in New Zealand, I'm sure in Italy too, that are passionate about seeds and about good quality organic seeds. So in New Zealand we have a number of different providers. Most of the seed that we use, we collect ourselves and dry ourselves. And we've also set up a seed swapping group here in Karamea that operates every Saturday at the market. So the people bring in their seeds and give them to the seed bank, and then other people who need seeds can take from the seed bank. I'll show you that photograph of the building.
Yes. And then we let you go.
Oh, there's one thing I should have showed you at my house. I made these worm towers. I want to show you.
Okay,
we have to go
we
back.
go back there.
We go back. Yeah. On the way back. I'll just show you the photo. Yeah, it's just completely different. Eh?
Now you
Look at
can
that.
see the vision you have.
15 years ago, this is what it looked like. This is where the cactus garden is. Here, cactus garden. Yeah. And then there's along here is the aloe vera. And then here's the vegetable garden in here. And then the fruit trees around here. It's completely different.
Oh my god.
Wow.
15 years.
Yeah, 15 years.
Wow.
Understand.
Of good project. Thank you for sharing this.
So when I get tired, or when I think about, oh man, this is a lot of work, or whatever, or when the bank account gets low, or I think, oh God, do I really? I look at this and think, wow, how much we've achieved. If we can continue doing this, the next 15 years, if we can achieve as much as we have in the next 15 years as we have in the last 15 years, wow. It's an old maternity hospital.
Yeah, I think the first couple from Christchurch, they told us about here, and it says that before they used to born children, now I think they will make children.
Yeah. That's right.
Allora, vi è piaciuto? A me ha fatto molto emozionare, perché la maggior parte delle volte che facciamo l'edizione passa un po' di tempo. E quindi poi rivedo questi video e mi ricordo di quei momenti passati, e in questo caso specialmente è stato bello, è stato anche importante, e credo che Paul sia stata la dimostrazione che è possibile e che è fattibile e che funziona, la parte più bella. E poi credo anche che comunque sia una persona che ci abbia anche dato dei grandi consigli, perché fondamentalmente qualsiasi cosa facciamo dobbiamo pensare ad avere un'azienda che sia sostenibile finanziariamente, fondamentalmente, quindi facendo degli investimenti ponderati nei momenti giusti, cercare di visualizzare, come dice Beethoven, che adesso vi farò vedere perché lui si nasconde dietro sempre la camera, ma che anche lui comunque partecipa sempre e ha i suoi punti di vista. Però effettivamente sì, lui visualizzare prima nella vostra testa quello che pensate per poi poterlo vedere e crearlo nel tempo, affrontando tutti i problemi. E adesso eccolo qua il cameraman, finalmente.
Então, vou falar em português. Depois
Non c'è problema, tanto poi io traduco in italiano e poi ci saranno i sottotitoli in inglese.
É isso o que Paul fez, e é isso o mais importante. É você visualizar primeiro no seu interior. Você visualiza, você sonha, você tem a sua ideia que ninguém vê, só você vê. Então você vê Isso é fé. Crer no invisível, crer naquilo que ainda não é, mas já se tornou real dentro de você. E quando as coisas se tornam reais dentro de você, tudo se transforma, tudo se faz. Porque as dificuldades existem, como a Gaia estava dizendo, como o Paul disse, os problemas existem, não é fácil. Você tem que ser forte e afrontar os problemas e as dificuldades de cada dia, crendo naquilo que você visualizou, nos seus sonhos, nos seus objetivos. E é assim que nós estamos fazendo a cada dia. E como Gaia e Deto, como a história de Paul se tornou uma realidade, se pode tornar também uma realidade na sua vida. E é essa a minha mensagem também. Um grande beijo no seu coração. Agora eu passo a palavra para a Gaia, para o meu amor Gaia.
Beh, questa telecamera diciamo che è un po' più semplice da gestire. E quindi cosa dire? Se vi è piaciuto il nostro video scriveteci qualche commento e sarà un piacere potervi rispondere, spero che vi sia piaciuto. E iscrivetevi sul nostro canale YouTube. C'è ancora un video sulla Nuova Zelanda, molto carino perché ci presenta tutta la famiglia Paul e sono tanto carini i suoi bambini e anche sua moglie. E poi ci ha fatto vedere anche una cosa incredibile, come costruire nel proprio giardino, nel proprio orto, nel proprio terrazzo, nel proprio balconcino una torre di compost. Veramente un'idea ingegnosa che voglio condividere con voi prossimamente. E poi vabbè c'è tutta la serie di video che abbiamo fatto qua in campagna che sono molto molto simpatici. Alcuni di loro non sono, diciamo che vi facciamo vedere cosa stiamo imparando anche, che è anche molto molto bello. E cosa dire? Alla prossima ragazzi, ciao, buona serata a tutti.